each other by the freebie frenzy that one got to witness. Nistula, would you also agree that this has been a cloak and dagger contest, a very cluttered one with just so many people involved, so many independents as well? And do you feel from your observations and your travels in Maharashtra that Vidarbha and Marathwada are the two battleground regions which actually hold the key to Mantralaya?
So I have frequently referred to these elections as confused and confusing, not just for observers, but for the participants and certainly for the voter as well, because there has been so much of toing and froing between all these parties and alliances, splits, very opportunistic politics, plus at the same time, very ironically, each breakaway faction trying to invoke ideology and saying we are the authentic one. So there are just too many things that are going to come out of the reckoning of this election. Who is the authentic Shiv Sena? Who is the authentic NCP? Is Congress a good alliance partner, or is it a parjivi or a parasite on its other alliance partners, as Prime Minister said right after the Haryana debacle that the Congress suffered? There are too many questions that are to be answered in this particular poll. The point is that, will we get a proper cohesive sort of a government out of it is the actual question that is to be decided. All the other things just contribute to that particular this thing. It is after 1999, the most complicated election that the state has seen. And there are too many unknown factors that are affecting it. Unknown factors that are affecting it. So if anybody is telling you at this point of time that they know who's going to be coming to power, they're either lying or just, deluding themselves. So that's my really very short take on this particular election.
Oh, it's been an interesting one, really. And you're right. Aman, you have also spent a lot of time, too many things and too many people and too many parties. And Aman, you were also there in Maharashtra. After weeks of a high decibel election campaign and rallies, finally now it has culminated to polling day. But a big, it hasn't stopped yet. Yesterday, we saw that whole cash for vote scam involving Vinod Tawde, and FIR was registered. And today we have Supriya Sule, the whole Bitcoin scam. So it hasn't even stopped, even while the people are going out there and voting.
Well, certainly, Avantika, there is allegations from both sides on each other, but I don't know how much these events have an impact on the election. I think people's mind is made up, and these events I don't think have a major impact on the way people may change their voting preferences. I don't really buy into that. That said, as Nistula was saying, that this is an extremely complex election. I think the fight is really between the narrative in the Lok Sabha of the Maha Vikas Aghadi that Samvidhan Khatre mein hai. Does that narrative continue into the Lok Sabha election? If it continues in the Lok Sabha election, I think the MVA will ultimately have the edge. Or is the alternate slogan from the Mahayuti camp that sab ek hai to safe hai, given by the Prime Minister, is that slogan gonna reign supreme in this particular election? Because if ek hai to safe hai reigns supreme, it shows that the coalition on the other side of the voters, the Maratha, the Muslim and the Dalit voter, there'll be a break in that. BJP is trying to break that gut shot on the other side, which happened in the Lok Sabha. It is trying to consolidate the OBC vote in its favor in this particular election. If the OBC consolidation happens,
has there been a lot of effort to do that, the OBC consolidation?
Well, absolutely. That's been the number one agenda of the BJP in this election. They want to consolidate the OBC vote, which is like 37-38%, the biggest vote bank in the state. We must remember that in Lok Sabha, the Marathas were against the BJP, but even the OBCs in some measure turned against the BJP because they thought BJP had been too soft on the Maratha cause. So it was a double whammy for the BJP, for the Mahayuti rather, in the Lok Sabha. This time, if you see, Maratha reservation has not been mentioned by any of the top leaders of the BJP from the election stages. They are very clearly looking at consolidating the OBC vote, getting a bit of the Dalit vote, a chunk of the Dalit vote back with them, especially the Ambedkarite Buddhist vote, around 11%. If that reversal happens, I think the Mahayuti will be in a stronger position. If that reversal doesn't happen, I think the MVA would continue with its theme, which we saw in the Lok Sabha election.
Interesting. We've just received also some breaking news, Aman, while you were speaking, that Maharashtra Congress Chief Nana Patole has also spoken up on this raging Bitcoin scam controversy. In fact, he said that Ravindranath Patil is a fraudulent IPS officer. So they're even casting doubt on the investigating officer. The audio that was shown yesterday by Sudhanshu Trivedi doesn't feature my voice. Everyone in this country, including the Prime Minister, knows my voice, is very familiar with my voice as well. So let's listen into what he has to say.
रवींद्र चव्हाण पाटील जो नावाचा व्यक्ती आहे तोच तोतिया IPS आहे. आपल्या सगळ्या मीडियाला त्यांनी सांगितलं की मी IPS आहे, होतो, रिटायर झालो, पण तोच तोतिया IPS निघाला. भाजप आणि जो सुधांशु त्रिवेदी भाजपचा प्रवक्ता ज्याने ज्या पद्धतीने ते व्हिडिओ ऑडिओ ज्या पद्धतीने दाखवले गेलेले आहेत, आता त्याच्यात माझा आवाजच नाही. सगळेजण माझा आवाज ओळखतात महाराष्ट्रामध्ये आणि देशामध्ये. माझा देशातही आवाज आहे. नरेंद्र मोदींनाही माझा आवाज पाठ आहे. नाना पटोले शेतकरी आहे, शेतकरी राहील आणि इतके वर्ष राजकारणामध्ये राहिलं, तर मला खरं तर हे बिटकॉइन हा शब्दच मला माहिती नाही काय व्यवहार होतात.
Okay, so the Bitcoin scam really raging on. Yesha joins us now from Thane. Yesha, over to you. Fill us in with what's happening out there. How many people are coming out to cast their vote? It's been a bitterly fought election campaign, and today is D-Day.
Absolutely. In fact, right here you see that ever since this morning, people have been clicking in. Of course, like we've been discussing, how people in Mumbai and nearby areas do not really come out and vote. But right now, of course, there are people who've gathered here. Right here, in fact, you see that Chief Minister Eknath Shinde's father, he is already here to cast his vote. And parallelly, we've seen Chief Minister Eknath Shinde come in. Now, Chief Minister would be casting his vote. In fact, before leaving this morning, we also saw how he had, his wife and his daughter-in-law had, offered him some prayers, and which is where now Chief Minister Eknath Shinde is here. In fact, over the last couple of days, we've seen the kind of massive support that Eknath Shinde has received. In fact, apart from Eknath Shinde, his son, Dr. Shrikant Shinde, who's the MP from the Kalyan Gambhiroli area, and also his wife and daughter-in-law are here. So yes, they'll be casting the vote now. Over the last couple of weeks, in fact, Antika, like we've been telling you, while we were here covering Eknath Shinde's campaign trails, there's been massive support that Eknath Shinde has received in this very constituency. In fact, he's been 3 times MLA here. While we spoke to some of the women who gathered here, they've given a word saying that Eknath Shinde has worked well in this very area, and it is the fourth time mandate that he seeks. Thousands of people gathering to meet him to kind of to express their gratitude towards him is something that shows the kind of popularity that he has here, right?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, he does enjoy a lot of popularity. And it's interesting how Eknath Shinde has also come into his own. He's going to be fighting Thane against Kedar Dige, who's from the Shiv Sena UBT. Yesha, I'm going to keep coming back to you. Stay on with me. It's clearly the day of the Maharashtra Assembly polls. People are coming out. They're casting their vote. In fact, we've seen a lot of celebrities, big prominent leaders coming out to cast their vote because all the 288 seats are set for polling today. The ruling Mahayuti alliance featuring the BJP, Ajit Pawar, NCP faction, Eknath Shinde, Shiv Sena, they're all facing off against the opposition, Maha Vikas Aghadi. It's a coalition of the Congress, Sharad Pawar's NCP, Uddhav Thackeray's Shiv Sena, from Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar and Devendra Fadnavis to NCP, SP, MP, Supriya Sule. Political leaders are coming out in huge numbers to cast their vote. In fact, when asked about the poll verdict, Ajit Pawar, the Deputy Chief Minister, exuded confidence, saying that the people of Maharashtra will shower the alliance, Mahayuti, and all of their leaders with a lot of love. On the other hand, the Maha Vikas Aghadi is also exhibiting the same confidence. The leaders also said that the alliance is committed to the development of the state and are extremely confident of a resounding victory.
Joining us right now from central Nagpur, where we are standing at, is a group of women who just come out and cast their vote. सबसे पहले वोटिंग जो आपने किया उसका साइन दिखाइए ताकि हम सारे लोगों को बता सके कि उनको जाकर के वोट करना है. कितना अहम होता है वोट करना?
बहुत ही अच्छा है करना. अपना जो अधिकार मिला है उसका अपने पूरेपूर फायदा लेना चाहिए, उसको वेस्ट नहीं जाने देना चाहिए.
आप यहाँ की वोटर है सेंट्रल नागपुर की, कितना जरूरी है वोट करना? क्या मुद्दे सोचती है महिलाएं यहाँ पे?
प्रगति होनी चाहिए, इसलिए वो तो करना ही चाहिए. कोई भी आए जो आए, उन्होंने अच्छा ही को ये दे रहे, वो अभी स्कीम दे रहे, वो देने के अलावा काम दिया तो अच्छा होगा. घर में बैठे काम दिया तो ज्यादा बेहतर है. ऐसे पैसे देने से वो ज्यादा और आलसी हो जाएंगे.
वेल, ऑफ कोर्स इम्पोर्टेंट इश्यूज आप बताइए. आप युवा है, आपका फर्स्ट टाइम वोट है?
यस मैम, फर्स्ट टाइम वोट है।
What would you want to tell the voters? Why should they come out and vote? क्यों वोट करना चाहिए?
क्योंकि अच्छी सरकार चाहिए, अच्छे अपने हित में चाहिए, और सबको पता चलना चाहिए कि वोटिंग का महत्व क्या है। एक हक मतलब एक वोट क्या क्या कर सकता है, और बेटर सरकार तो अपने को चाहिए। विकास है, प्रगति की राह पर चलना है। सांस्कृतिक से दिखाने से कुछ नहीं होता, करना भी पड़ता है, ऑन ग्राउंड लेवल पे उतरना पड़ता है। आज के युवा ये देखेंगे तो आगे जाके उनको भी पता चलेगा ना कि आप अपना नेता कैसा है, अपना वार्ड मेंबर कैसा है। इसलिए अपने को अलर्ट रहना चाहिए पहले तो।
Yesha, you've also spoken to Eknath Shinde. Do you think that the person that he is, his accessibility, in fact, Payal also spoke to him, and the fact that RSS is so involved in these elections, their ground role could perhaps give the BJP alliance an edge in these elections?
So when we spoke to Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, he of course sounded confident. In fact, when we spoke to him, apart from that, we also spoke to Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar. There was one bit that Ajit Pawar happened to mention, was that Ladki Bahin Yojana would be the game changer in this very elections. Of course, we've seen that when it came to the Lok Sabha election results, there were certain comments that were made by RSS, by also a mouthpiece of RSS, critiquing the role of Ajit Pawar in this election. But all throughout, when you speak of Eknath Shinde has been someone who has, in fact, followed to the T about the instructions that usually come in, and which is where now, when it comes to his popularity amidst people, amidst Thanikers, it is quite evident the kind of role he plays.
महाराष्ट्राचा बाणा कायम राखल्याशिवाय राहणार नाही. मला वाटतं आज जास्त मी बोलणं आता योग्य नाही, कारण मतदान सुरू आहे. मी सर्व मतदारांना आवाहन करेन की आपण जरूर उतरा, मतदान करा, आणि मध्ये ओरडू नका रे. सर्व मतदारांना आवाहन करतोय महाराष्ट्रातल्या की सर्व आपल्या मित्रांसह, सहकुटुंब, सहपरिवार मतदानाला उतरा, मतदान करा आणि महाराष्ट्राचा स्वाभिमान जपा.
All right. So all the reactions coming in from the big political leaders. We just heard from Eknath Shinde as well. Let me also get in Mr. Rashid here for, on this political battle that we're getting to see. I wanted to understand something from you, that yes, the Maha Vikas Aghadi had seen great electoral success in the Lok Sabha polls, but the BJP has also changed its strategy. In fact, very interestingly, they have completely recalibrated their campaign strategy. Do you feel that this perhaps will benefit them in these elections?
Perhaps we'll get to know only on 23rd, but the real point is that stakes are very high. If MVA doesn't win in Maharashtra, it would mark almost end of India alliance. Remember, Aam Aadmi Party and Mamata Banerjee, they're already disillusioned with India alliance. So it is electoral success that provides strength to any alliance in Indian politics. On the other hand, if Mr. Modi loses Maharashtra, BJP loses Maharashtra, it will actually be a very huge setback. But here is a person, Uddhav Thackeray, who was showing just now. You see, he represents a kind of brand of, Hindutva politics or majority politics and all. The BJP projects itself, or NDA, as a sole sort of representative of majority community in India. So in Maharashtra, if it goes with an alliance that has Uddhav Thackeray, then Mr. Modi will remain, politically speaking, unsettled till 2029 and perhaps beyond.
No, absolutely. Nistula, we're just seeing the visuals of Eknath Shinde then. And what do you make of the Chief Minister here who has come into his own? I remember political analysts have also had a U-turn. There's been a volte-face. They had scripted his obituary, forecasting his downfall. And now it seems that they're quite bullish and buoyant about his prospects.
Well, I would also plead guilty to being part of those.
I'll just come to you. Shinde is speaking, Nistula. Just
आजचा दिवस हा लोकशाहीतला उत्सवाचा दिवस आणि महाराष्ट्राला देखील हा उत्सवाचा दिवस आहे. महाराष्ट्राला उज्ज्वल भवितव्याकडे आणि महाराष्ट्राला शक्तिशाली आणि देशाला आर्थिक महासत्तेकडे घेऊन जाणारा हा उत्सव आणि म्हणून
we have worked towards working to make the country economically developed, which is where the voters have to work on it.
मतदान केलं पाहिजे कारण मतदान हे आपलं पवित्र
A lot of people should come ahead and cast their vote because it is for the development
पार पाडली पाहिजे आणि या
of the state.
लोकशाहीच्या उत्सवामध्ये सामील झालं पाहिजे असे माझी सगळ्यांना विनंती आहे.
It is a celebration for democracy which people need to gather and work towards.
मतदान करावं आणि लोकशाही समृद्ध आणि प्रगल्भ
Everyone should come ahead and vote
अशा प्रकारची विनंती मी करतो.
so that we can maintain the democracy.
गेल्या 5 वर्षाचा कारभार या महाराष्ट्रातल्या जनतेने पाहिलाय.
In the last 5 years,
2019ला मतदान झालं आणि
Maharashtra has seen the kind of work that was done
महाराष्ट्रातल्या
from 2019. People have seen,
विरुद्ध झालं
though
सरकार
people had
चुकीच्या पद्धतीने सरकार तयार झालं
voted for a particular
2019
government, but despite that,
सरलेली नाही.
the mandate of people were changed,
गेल्या 5 वर्षामध्ये या राज्याची कोणी दशा केली
and
या
which is
राज्याला
where
विकासाची दिशा कोणी दाखवली
the way
हे लोकांना माहित आहे.
people took
आणि
those in government
या
took
राज्याचा केलेला
Maharashtra
विकास
against development
या राज्यामध्ये सुरू
and
केलेल्या
the plight of
कल्याणकारी
state
या
is
योजना
something
ज्या
that people have seen.
आणि विकास हा लोकांना माहित आहे. मुख्यमंत्री माझी लाडकी बहीण योजनेसारखी अनेक
All the
विकासाच्या
development,
जात
the
नाही.
schemes
परंतु
that
अनेक
have been put in
योजना
place is something
या
that people have seen.
सर्वसामान्य
Ladki Bahin Yojana
लाडक्या
is something that
बहिणींसाठी,
has
लाडक्या
benefited people.
मुलांसाठी, लाडक्या शेतकऱ्यांसाठी, लाडक्या कामगारांसाठी, लाडक्या ज्येष्ठांसाठी आम्ही केल्या आणि नक्कीच
We worked on strengthening women,
गेल्या 5 वर्षामध्ये
old people, youngsters,
या राज्याला
all of
पुढे
them alike.
नेण्यासाठी, या राज्याला विकासाकडे नेण्यासाठी या
and that has
राज्याला
led to the development
एक
in the state.
खरं म्हणजे या राज्याचा सर्वांगीण विकास आणि या राज्यातल्या सर्वसामान्य लोकांच्या जीवनामध्ये बदल घडवण्यासाठी या
Overall development of the state
महाराष्ट्राला
and to bring about the
एक
change in the
शक्तिशाली
life
राज्य
of common people
बनवण्यासाठी आम्ही
is how we
महायुतीने
work
केलेला आहे
to also
आणि मला वाटतं
make Maharashtra
या
an
राज्यातली
empowered and
जनता
developed state,
आज समाधानी आहे. मी स्वतः
which is
समाधानी आहे.
where the people
2.5
of state
वर्षाचा
are
कार्यकाळ
now
आणि
satisfied.
आमचा 2.5
I am
वर्षाचा
satisfied
हाही लोकांनी पाहिलं.
with the work that I've done.
या आजच्या दिवशी
Our work has been done, has
या
been looked up
महाराष्ट्रातील जनता
by several
भरभरून
voters, by people, and
आम्हाला
which is where
मतदान
today the people of
विकासाला
Maharashtra
मतदान करतील. आणि म्हणून
will vote for
मतदानाचा
us.
टक्का मतदान हे लोकशाहीला प्रगल्भ करणार आहे, लोकशाहीला मजबूत करणार आहे आणि म्हणून सगळ्यांनी मतदान करावं
Is how
असं आवाहन
one can
विनंती
maintain democracy. Which is where I request people to go ahead
पूर्णपणे
and vote.
येणारं सरकार महायुतीचं बहुमताचं थम्पिंग मेजॉरिटीचं असेल.
It is going to be a government of Mahayuti.
म्हणून आम्ही विकासाला प्राधान्य दिलं, कल्याणकारी योजनांना प्राधान्य दिलं. 2.5 वर्षाचा कार्यकाळ या महाराष्ट्रातल्या जनतेने पाहिलं. आज बहुत ही लोकशाही का एक पवित्र दिन है, ये उत्सव है, ये लोकशाही को समृद्ध और मजबूत करने वाला उत्सव है. इसमें सभी ने मिलकर इस उत्सव में सहभागी होना चाहिए, सभी ने वोट करना चाहिए, क्योंकि ये महाराष्ट्र को शक्तिशाली बनाएगा, देश की अर्थव्यवस्था को मजबूत बनाएगा. इसलिए आज का दिन बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है. ये मतदान सभी लोग करें और हमारी लोकशाही समृद्ध करें, प्रगल्भ करें, मजबूत करें. और पिछले 5 साल का कारोबार लोगों ने देखा है. 2019 में क्या हुआ था लोग आज भूले नहीं है. लोगों का मैंडेट क्या था, और लोगों का मैंडेट था महायुति, जनता का मैंडेट था महायुति, लेकिन सरकार महायुति की नहीं बनी. इसलिए वो लोगों के ध्यान में है पूरी तरह. और 2.5 साल का कार्यकाल भी देखा उन्होंने, और हमारे 2.5 साल का भी देखा है. और इसलिए हमारे 2.5 साल में एक तरफ विकास, जो विकास को रोका था हमने उसको शुरू किया. जो कल्याणकारी योजना है, जैसे लाडली बहन, लाडला भाई, लाडला किसान, कई योजनाएं मैं अभी सब में खुलकर बताना नहीं चाहता, लेकिन विकास और कल्याणकारी योजनाएं जो शुरू की है, इसका प्रतिबिंब जो है इस चुनाव में दिखेगा. महिलाओं को बड़े पैमाने पे लाडली बहनों का और लाडले भाइयों का मतदान होगा. और मैं सभी से गुजारिश करता हूँ, लोकशाही में वोटिंग होना चाहिए. ये हमारा अधिकार है, हमारी जिम्मेदारी है, वो हमने बखूबी निभानी चाहिए. और इसलिए सभी वोट करें. और मुझे विश्वास है 2.5 साल में जो महायुति ने काम किया है, जो कल्याणकारी योजनाएं, जो विकास, उसके बलबूते पे आने वाली सरकार जो है मजबूत पंपिंग मेजोरिटी की, ये महायुति की होगी.
Okay, that's Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, the Maratha face, and someone who has been credited for running a very efficient campaign on development and issues. Eknath Shinde saying that they have only focused on the issues that matter to the people in Maharashtra, and extremely confident that the Mahayuti alliance will come up with a thumping victory. I'm going to go straight across now to Pallavi. Pallavi has been waiting for us very patiently. She's joining us from Baramati. Baramati, Pallavi, is always a family contest. You have Ajit Pawar, the Deputy Chief Minister, who's going to be taking on his own nephew, the son of his younger brother, Yugendra Pawar. So how's it looking out there in Baramati? Okay, I'll just go to Pallavi in a bit, but let me quickly get in Nistula. Nistula, we were just hearing Eknath Shinde. You know, I remember how critics were so quick to write his political epitaph when he had split the Shiv Sena, and today he has emerged as an undisputed leader. What does one make of a person like Eknath Shinde?
It's been a journey, and I can say that I was also guilty of kind of also underestimating him, because a few months ago I had done a story for the Hindu where I had revealed that the BJP in Maharashtra had requested the central leadership to hold the state assembly and general election, Lok Sabha election for the state together, to bring forward the assembly elections, because they wanted to kind of gain from brand Modi, because they weren't very confident about what had happened, with the Eknath Shinde coming up, and that they were not very confident of the narrative that they had set by splitting the Shiv Sena. They felt that they were getting too much of a backlash from Sena supporters, and Mr. Shinde was not really up to telling his side of the story. That has changed over the last few months. He has managed to kind of build a certain narrative around him of being the true Shiv Sainik, with all the virtues that are supposed to be in a Shiv Sainik, that of being, Hindutva warrior, Marathi Manus, and of course, keeping away from the Congress, which Mr. Uddhav Thackeray has not done. So he says, Bala Sahib would never have done it. I'm the actual true inheritor. And he also invoked his other mentor, who's the former Thane chief of the Shiv Sena, Anand Dige. And when I went there for covering the campaign this time, there were two films that were out, Dharamveer 1 and Dharamveer 2, which was on the life of Anand Dighe. It was playing in theaters, playing on OTTs. And basically, more than Mr. Dighe's story, it was about Mr. Shinde's story and his involvement with the Shiv Sena from the get-go, etc.
And he's going to be playing on that powerful
He is going to be
legacy
playing
of
on
Anand
that,
Dighe in Thane
and
also, right?
UBT Shiv Sena has pitted Mr. Dighe's nephew, Kedar Dighe, against Mr. Shinde in his assembly constituency. I spoke to Mr. Dighe himself and he said, look, I am the real inheritor. I don't know why he has come out. Even the movie has many inaccuracies, etc. But it's doing well. The movie is doing well. So the narrative, the movie, and also the Ladki Bahin. And I think he has also gone into the details of what exactly happened during the Lok Sabha. He was set on 7 seats and Shiv Sena UBT at 9. So they were not that much far behind each other. And Shiv Sena UBT did not cross the psychological point of a double figure.
Yeah.
All right. So he kind of then got into the facts and figures of what happened.
Okay.
And he realized that this minority consolidation in a huge way did help Shiv Sena UBT. And he has gone out of his way of setting up, this Aurangabad Minority Development Corporation.
Right.
He has done, increased the salaries of Maulanas across masjids in Maharashtra. He has also played a very soft sort of a role within that Shiv Sena worldview.
Sure.
So he has done a lot to change the way that his story and the way that people look at him. He goes out at night, does inspections of his infrastructure projects, considered very down to earth, approachable sort of a
very
person.
very accessible,
and
something that even Payal had
when
my
people,
colleague Payal had mentioned. I'll just come to you, Nistala. I really have to go to Pallavi now. She's joining us from Baramati, and Pallavi, it's always a fight of the parivars in Baramati, and this time it's the Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar who's taking on his nephew Yugendra Pawar, who has the backing of his aunt Supriya Sule and Sharad Pawar. How's it looking out there in Baramati?
Well, I mean, barring the Congress party, I would say almost every other political party in Maharashtra as a stakeholder are actually fighting a legacy, kind of a battle to show that we are really the inheritors of that legacy tag, and that applies to the Pawars most. We saw, for example, during the Lok Sabha elections, how it was a prestige battle for Mr. Sharad Pawar, and who can miss those pictures of him very much in the rain, getting wet and still appealing to the people. He's doing pretty much the same as far as the assembly campaigning is concerned, where he says that whether I'm 82 or whether I'm 90, as long as I'm alive, I'm going to fight against the BJP. That has been the kind of battle he's pitching for. In fact, Mr. Sharad Pawar was one of the first ones to cast his vote roughly around 9 a.m. There, he did not speak much about the controversy surrounding Supriya Sule as well as the Bitcoin. But what he certainly did was indicate that for him, it's a diversionary tactic coming in from the BJP. After that, Avantika, he's actually crisscrossing through the Baramati constituency, then heading back to Pune, very clearly being the main, campaigner. And this really matters. His political prestige depends a lot on how much the NCP performs here, whether the Ajit Pawar faction of the NCP is actually going to be defeated, whether it's going to be the Sharad Pawar supporters who are going to be winning from the turf or the bastion or the killa, as it's called, of the Pawar family or of Sharad Pawar specifically. Within the MVA, he's certainly one who the Congress is counting on, the Uddhav Thackeray is counting on. If there is a possibility of a hung assembly, and I usually tend to think that voters are much, much clearer, there usually isn't a hung assembly. But in case it's a hung assembly, both the Congress as well as Uddhav Thackeray are going to look at Sharad Pawar's acumen very closely. Right. He's one of those old-style politicians, who has friends across the border. He's respected by all. You can often see the camaraderie between him and the Prime Minister. And all of that is now going to be put to test depending on what is going to be the performance of the NCP from this area.
Oh, absolutely. Pallavi, thanks so much for joining us. We also have an interview with the Union Minister Nitin Gadkari, who was recently in the news after he made that big poll promise ahead of polling ahead of the elections about how anyone in Mumbai can now reach the upcoming Navi Mumbai International Airport within 17 minutes. And that, in fact, was music to the ears of every Mumbaiker. Here he is speaking to CNN News 18's Payal. Listen in.
पिछले 24 घंटे हमने काफ़ी कंट्रोवर्सी देखी, चाहे वो विनोद तावड़े के बारे में विपक्ष का आरोप हो या विपक्ष के खिलाफ आरोप हो. आपको लगता है ऐसे आरोपों का कुछ संज्ञान लेगी जनता?
देखिए, मैं आपको एक बात बताता हूँ, ये चुनाव के समय ऐसी वैसी बातें एक दूसरे को गुमराह करने के लिए कभी मीडिया का उपयोग करके आती रहती है। चुनाव का जो मुख्य मुद्दा है उसी पर जनता ध्यान देकर महाराष्ट्र के भविष्य को और भवितव्य को बदलने के लिए निश्चित रूप से महायुति को चुनकर दे, और इससे महाराष्ट्र देश का अव्वल नंबर का पहला राज्य होगा।
आप हमेशा विकास की बात करते हैं, आप हमेशा डेवलपमेंट की बात करते हैं। अगर डेवलपमेंट इतना स्ट्रांग एजेंडा है तो क्यों भाजपा के नेता एक है तो सेफ है की बात करते हैं? क्यों भाजपा के नेता ये कहते हैं कि जो वोट जिहाद के खिलाफ हमें धर्म युद्ध करना पड़ेगा?
पहली बात तो भाजपा के नेता कोई गलत नहीं बोलते हैं, उसका इंटरप्रिटेशन कुछ लोग गलत करते हैं। मैंने पहले ही कहा था कि हम जात, पंथ, धर्म, भाषा, सेक्स इसके ऊपर उठकर किसी को डिस्क्रिमिनेट ना करते हुए हम सब एक हो, यूनाइटेड हो, एक संघ हो और भारतीय हो। और भारतीयत्व का अर्थ यही होता है कि हिंदू, मुसलमान, जैन, क्रिश्चियन, सिख सब उनकी उपासना पद्धति अलग है, पर हम सब भारतीय हैं। और आप कहीं भी यहाँ का मुसलमान जब विदेशों में जाता है तो उसको हिंदी मुसलमान कहते हैं। तो मेरा कहना यही है कि हम जात, पंथ, धर्म, भाषा और सेक्स के आधार पर ना बटे, हम एक हो। महाराष्ट्र में कुछ लोग जात के आधार पर समाज को बांटने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, उसके लिए ये बात कही गई थी कि हमने बांटना नहीं चाहिए, हमने एक होना चाहिए।
मला असं वाटतं की जेवढं मतदान कमी होईल तेवढं त्यांच्या पदरी काय पडेल हे गेल्या 5 वर्षात पाहिलं. जास्तीत जास्त लोकांनी मतदान करून एक तर मतदान केलं पाहिजे सगळ्यांनी, म्हणजे हा तर विषय आहेच, पण आपलं मत व्यक्त करणं, त्यापासून बाजूला हटणं हा काही पर्याय नाही होऊ शकत.
हम लोग जो करने आए वो वोटिंग है और वो सबका राइट है, वो सबका अधिकार है। तो मुझे लगता है कि ये आज का दिन जो है वो वोटिंग के हिसाब से है। तो जो गरीब है, जो भी है, यंग ओल्ड जो भी है, वोट करना जरूर है।
बढ़िया बात है, इंतजाम बहुत अच्छा किया हुआ है। अरे मेरे को क्यों ढका? बहुत अच्छा इंतजाम किया हुआ है। मैं देख रहा था कि सीनियर सिटीजन के लिए बहुत अच्छा इंतजाम किया हुआ है, बहुत सफाई रखी हुई है। एंड बस आज यही है कि सब लोग आए, वोट करें, दैट इज द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट।
Okay, let's shift our focus now to the politics in Jharkhand, and there's also a lot that has been going on there. One has seen a very bitter campaign by all the political parties, and most importantly, the issue of infiltration from Bangladesh has really been something which has been on top of the mind and the agenda of every political parties. All eyes will be on Jharkhand as the second phase of assembly elections and voting taking place across 38 of the constituencies. The spotlight is on the key constituencies, which starts with Barhet, where the Chief Minister Hemant Soren of the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha is facing an extremely tough challenge from BJP's Hembrom. In Jamtara, the battle is between Congress's Irfan Ansari and BJP's Sita Soren, focusing on family legacies and political influence, while Girid is seeing a contest centered on employment and education. Dhanbad, in fact, is seeing an economic concerns taking center stage. That is one of the main priority issue that has been talked by political leaders during the course of campaigning, with both parties focusing on mining industry reforms and local job creations. In Dumka, tribal rights and development have been some of the key issues of contention, key points of contention, with both sides vying for that ST vote.
निशिकांत जी, क्या माहौल है? आज दूसरे चरण का मतदान शुरू हो चुका है।
भारतीय जनता पार्टी अपने दम पर पूर्ण बहुमत की सरकार बना रही है। एनडीए के जो सहयोगी दल हैं वो उसमें केवल सहयोग भर करेंगे। हम 2/3 बहुमत से झारखंड में सरकार बनाएंगे।
एक हमेशा यहाँ पर सवाल आप लोग उठाते रहे, वो है घुसपैठियों को लेकर। क्या घुसपैठियों का मुद्दा उतना बड़ा है झारखंड में?
घुसपैठियों का मुद्दा सबसे बड़ा है, भ्रष्टाचार सबसे बड़ा मुद्दा है। और कल रात में जो नंगा नाच किया है इंडी गठबंधन के उम्मीदवार ने, आप उसकी कल्पना नहीं कर सकते। मैंने समय समय पर वीडियो डाले हैं हमारे सोशल मीडिया अकाउंट पे, आप देखिए। पैसे का जितना बड़ा लूट और छूट इन्होंने किया सारे प्रशासन ने मिलकर, मैंने अपने जीवन में ऐसा नहीं देखा। प्रत्येक घर में प्रत्येक वोटर को 500-500 रुपये पहुंचाए गए और ग्रामीणों ने उसको खदेड़ा। ये चारों तरफ ये दिखता है कि यहाँ की जनता अब जागरूक हो गई है। उसको बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठियों को भगाना है, एनआरसी लागू करना है, भ्रष्टाचार पर लगाम लगाना है और ये जितने अपराधी, आर्थिक अपराधी खुलेआम घूम रहे हैं, उनको जेल भेजना है। ये मैंने कल देखा।
Arunima joins us now for more on Jharkhand. Arunima, the issue of infiltration has been central to the BJP's campaign. Other than that, what has been some of the dominant issues that have been taken up in this very high-stakes political landscape?
See, Bharatiya Janata Party wants the focus on illegal immigrants, Bangladeshi migrants coming in, and the alleged vote bank. Then the JMM-led India Front wants the focus on economic guarantees that they have allowed. Maiya Samman, for example, is something that Hemant Soren is really hoping will turn the fortunes of his party and his front. He's promising 1,000 rupees. I mean, 3 installments of that money has already been delivered into the accounts of some of the tribal women, and he has promised them that if voted back to power, 2,500 rupees is what he will increase the Maiya Samman Yojana to. Bharatiya Janata Party has also promised 2,000 rupees in the accounts of women. Plus, there are other economic guarantees because unemployment is a big issue for the youngsters there. Reduced prices of gas cylinder is what the Congress's state president also promised, stoking a controversy because he said that he would provide it even to the immigrants. So the big issue here is the BJP pitting it as an existential issue for the tribals or the economic well-being, as JMM wants to put it too. But in reality, this is also about the existence of Hemant Soren, who's facing an ED case, who's out on bail. If he does not win this election, politically and legally speaking, there could be more trouble for him.
Absolutely. Arunima, thanks so much for joining us. Aman, I want to ask you that the BJP has continuously accused the JMM and the Congress of encouraging infiltration in order to get votes. In fact, they also say that this has impacted the demographic makeup of that space. Do you think that the arrest of Mr. Soren and all the ED cases against him will play a significant role in these elections?
Well, Avantika did play a role in the Lok Sabha elections. BJP could not win any of the 5 ST in marked seats in Jharkhand in the Lok Sabha election, and that was seen as a result of BJP not having a clear tribal leadership. Last time BJP contested an election, assembly election in Jharkhand, they lost because they had a non-tribal chief minister. So that is, I think that is why the big reason for the BJP to this time reach out to the tribal community, paint this entire campaign that infiltrators are coming in, taking away tribal land, marrying tribal women, and that is what the BJP has pinned its entire campaign on. That said, I think another factor which has BJP has tried to do is get Champai Soren into their fold.
Yes.
So, in a way, trying to tell the people that, look, we do have tribal leadership. We don't know who will be the chief minister if we win. But I think Hemant Soren's sympathy factor, because he went to jail and after when the Lok Sabha elections were held, JMM gained from that sympathy factor. Maybe that factor, I think, has waned a bit. And BJP is hoping that can ride on this whole infiltration issue. And, though Hemant Soren says, where are the infiltrators? Give me a list. There's no infiltrators. There's no list as such. He said this is a divisive campaign. But I think BJP is mainly banking, I think, on the issue to appease the tribals and also cite the Champai Soren factor to get some foothold in Jharkhand region.
Right. Mr. Kidbhai, would you like to add to that?
So this about, infiltration, actually Jharkhand is one state does not, have a sort of international border. So if indeed, infiltration is taking place, it must be coming from some, international border. And that is where the central government's role also comes in. As Aman was saying, it's, about numbers and all, that's of course a debatable thing, but this is also a thing. So I think it is a narrative that's being sort of, imposed because there are far, too many important and local issues are there on which election should have been fought in Jharkhand.
Right. Interesting. I have to take a very short break right here and we will come back. It's an important day with elections and polling happening in these states. And we will get our viewers the very latest, all the big voices, the reactions in just a bit. But stay tuned. I'll be back in just a bit.
Brought to you by...
And I'm joined by a battery of reporters from Maharashtra who are in fact reporting on ground. Mayuresh is in fact reporting from Bandra East, tracking the Thackeray family. Payal is in fact reporting from central Nagpur, tracking RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat. Yasha from Thane, tracking Eknath Shinde. And Pallavi from Baramati, tracking Sharad Pawar. Now let me go first across to Payal, who's in fact reporting from central Nagpur, tracking Mohan Bhagwat. Payal, tell us what time is Mohan Bhagwat supposed to arrive there, and also given the fact that in Haryana we have seen how RSS played a very crucial role. What are you observing when it comes to Maharashtra, the role of RSS in the Maharashtra elections?
Well, to begin with, Mohan Bhagwat, the RSS chief, is already in the polling booth. He should be out within the next couple of minutes after having cast his vote. Remember, he came here at least 10 minutes before the voting really began. Because, this is where the RSS headquarters really is. And this is a very, very important center as far as the BJP is really concerned. Because, both, whether it's Devendra Fadnavis or whether it's Nitin Gadkari, both son of the soil, or their allegiance to the RSS, and of course have been part of the RSS from their very, very childhood as well. So the RSS contribution is extremely important as far as the BJP is really concerned. The Jan Sangh is, what they date back to. And we've seen what they were able to do, in Haryana. So even if sources are to be believed over here in Maharashtra, they're working overtime. Their basic agenda, Sharon, is to in fact encourage people to go out and vote. That last ditch effort campaigning has shut about 24 to 48 hours ago, but the last bit of effort to in fact take people, to the polling booth, that's exactly what the RSS specializes in. And the workers have been working overtime. I'm given to understand that they're working in not just the constituency of the BJP is very strong, but also the constituencies where the Mahayuti is in fact contesting as well. So that's something which is going to be important to see. We'll see Mohan Bhagwat stepping out in a bit from now, and he'll probably be giving us a soundbite as well. But a very, very crucial election as far as Vidarbha on the whole is really concerned, given the fact that Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis is contesting from Nagpur west seat as well. So that's something which is going to be very important to watch out for. We're just keeping our cameras waiting for Mr. Mohan Bhagwat to step out, and he's of course accompanied by the other RSS office bearers as well. Any moment from now, Sharon, he should be out, and it'll be important to see what his message really to the people of the country is, people of Maharashtra is concerned. And let's just see what message he gives to people of Maharashtra in terms of their importance to cast this particular vote, and whether he makes any other statement as well. That remains to be seen.
Absolutely, Payal. In fact, please stay with us. We'll keep coming back to you as and when Mohan Bhagwat will cast his vote and will come out. Let me now directly go across to Pallavi, who is in fact reporting from Baramati. Pallavi, Baramati is once again seeing Pawar versus Pawar in Lok Sabha election. Supriya Sule won that seat. What have been your observation in Baramati? Which side is the pendulum going to swing?
Well, first of all, Baramati, as we all know, is a bastion of Sharad Pawar. And it was a hard-fought election which took place during Lok Sabha, where Ajit Pawar's wife, Sunita, took on Supriya Sule, and of course, she won. Well, over here, the Pawar versus Pawar factor pretty much plays out on the ground, but
Welcome back. Delhi government has ordered 50% of its employees to work from home because of the rising pollution levels. Gopal Rai, in fact, has put this out on the social media post X, saying Delhi government has decided to work from home in government offices. 50% employees will now work from home. And for its implementation, a meeting will also be held with all officials at 1 in the afternoon. So that's the latest coming in right now, that 50% of government offices to work from home. That's the announcement coming in from the Delhi government, from the minister himself, Mr. Gopal Rai, who's saying that because of the worsening quality of air, 50% of Delhi government's office staff will be working from home. In a way, perhaps it's good news, because that will also result in lesser traffic on the roads. But the main problem is still not being addressed, the rising pollution levels. Delhi's air quality has remained in the severe plus category, which has now prompted the Environment Minister Gopal Rai to make this big announcement that 50% of government office staff will work from home because of the pollution. Anshul joins us for more on this. Anshul, so tell us a little bit more. I mean, the good news that came to my mind is at least there's going to be less traffic on the road, which also is a contributor to the rising pollution levels. Was that the intent, or was it, to shield the staff from the rising pollution levels?
The intent at this point in time of the Delhi government is to make sure that the number of vehicles that are plying on the roads, that could be reduced, and that is the reason why we saw that initially the schools out here in the national capital were actually asked to shift to online mode. Apart from that, the private offices were also asked to shift to online mode as well. Now, finally, the Delhi government staff has also been asked to
for me to take a short break, but the news and updates continue with my colleague Riha. Keep watching. And I'm joined by a battery of reporters from Maharashtra who are in fact reporting on ground. Mayuresh is in fact reporting from Bandra. He is tracking the Thackeray family. Payal is in fact reporting from Central Nagpur, tracking RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat. Yasha from Thane, tracking Eknath Shinde, and Pallavi from Baramati, tracking Sharad Pawar. Now let me go first across to Payal, who's in fact reporting from Central Nagpur, tracking Mohan Bhagwat. Payal, tell us what time is Mohan Bhagwat supposed to arrive there? And also, given the fact that in Haryana we have seen how RSS played a very crucial role, what are you observing when it comes to Maharashtra, the role of RSS in the Maharashtra elections?
Well, to begin with, Mohan Bhagwat, the RSS chief, is already in the polling booth. He should be out within the next couple of minutes after having cast his vote. Remember, he came here at least 10 minutes before the voting really began, because this is where the RSS headquarters really is, and this is a very, very important center as far as the BJP is really concerned, because both, whether it's Devendra Fadnavis or whether it's Nitin Gadkari, both son of the soil, or the allegiance to the RSS, and of course have been part of the RSS from their very, very childhood as well. So the RSS contribution is extremely important as far as the BJP is really concerned. The Jan Sangh is, what they date back to, and we've seen what they were able to do, in Haryana. So even if sources are to be believed, over here in Maharashtra, they're working overtime. Their basic agenda, Sharon, is to in fact encourage people to go out and vote. That last ditch effort to, campaigning has shut about 24 to 48 hours ago, but the last bit of effort to in fact take people, to the polling booth, that's exactly what the RSS specializes in. And the workers have been working overtime. I'm given to understand that they're working in not just the constituency of the BJP is very strong, but also the constituencies where the Mahayuti is in fact contesting as well. So that's something which is going to be important to see. We'll see Mohan Bhagwat stepping out in a bit from now, and he'll probably be giving us a soundbite as well. But a very, very crucial election as far as Vidarbha on the whole is really concerned, given the fact that Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis is contesting from Nagpur south west seat as well. So that's something which is going to be very important to watch out for. We're just keeping our cameras waiting for Mr. Mohan Bhagwat to step out, and he's of course accompanied by the other RSS office bearers as well. Any moment from now, Sharon, he should be out, and it'll be important to see what his message really to the people of the country is, people of Maharashtra is concerned. And let's just see what message he gives to people of Maharashtra in terms of their importance to cast this particular vote, and whether he makes any other statement as well. That remains to be seen.
Absolutely, Payal. In fact, please stay with us. We'll keep coming back to you as and when Mohan Bhagwat will cast his vote and will come out. Let me now directly go across to Pallavi, who is in fact reporting from Baramati. Pallavi, Baramati is once again seeing Pawar versus Pawar in Lok Sabha election. Supriya Sule won that seat. What have been your observation in Baramati? Which side is the pendulum going to swing?
Hello and welcome, and thank you so much for staying with CNN News 18. I'm Griha Atul. Let's begin with battleground Maharashtra. Just a few hours before polling began in Maharashtra, BJP's national spokesperson Sudhanshu Trivedi has accused Congress leader Nana Patole and NCP leader Supriya Sule of being involved in a cryptocurrency fraud to influence the election result in favor of the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi. The allegations came after the claims by former IPS officer Ravindranath Patil, who alleged that Sule and Patole misappropriated bitcoins linked to a 2018 cryptocurrency fraud case to fund the ongoing Maharashtra Assembly elections. In response, both Patole and Supriya Sule strongly denied these accusations and filed a criminal complaint with the Election Commission of India and the Cyber Crime Department, seeking action against these claims. Supriya Sule also said that it is not her voice on the audio tapes and that she is ready to face questions on the matter as well. Even after Sule's denial, though, Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Mr. Ajit Pawar has broken his silence on the matter, and he has said that he recognizes his sister's voice on the tapes. He's also said that he recognizes the second voice too.
वो ये कहता है कि मैं पहले ही लफड़े में फंस चुका हूं, मैं ऐसी किसी चीज में नहीं पड़ना चाहता। तो वो दूसरा व्यक्ति ये कह रहा है कि नहीं साहब, इसमें बड़े लोग इन्वॉल्व हैं और वो कांग्रेस के महाराष्ट्र के अध्यक्ष नाना पटोले जी का तथा कथित रूप से नाम लेता है और सुप्रिया सुले जी का तथा कथित रूप से नाम लेता है। सबसे पहले वो ये बताएं कि जो इस वीडियो क्लिप में और ऑडियो क्लिप में दिखाई पड़ रहा है, क्या कांग्रेस पार्टी अथवा उनके किसी भी नेता सुप्रिया सुले जी के बारे में दावा किया गया है, क्या वो बिटकॉइन के किसी भी ट्रांजैक्शन में इन्वॉल्व हैं या नहीं?
I have spoken against bitcoins. I have spoken against cryptocurrency. I am somebody who has raised very serious issues about all this.
ये व्यक्ति कई महीने तुरंत होती कैसे महिन्यात आहे याची नोंद तरी कशाला घ्यायची? माझ्या मते त्याची नोंद घेण्याची आवश्यकता नाही. भाजप आणि त्यांच्या एकंदरीत सगळ्या कॅम्पेनकडे बघायचा दृष्टिकोन किती खालच्या पातळीचा आहे हे स्पष्ट होते. यापेक्षा अधिक त्याचा मला भाष्य करायचे नाही.
उसके बारे में जो कुछ ऑडियो दिखा रहे हैं वो आवाज के बारे में मुझे इतना ही जानकारी है. मैं दोनों को भी बहुत अच्छी तरह से जानता हूँ, बहुत सालों से जानता हूँ. एक तो मेरी परिवार की मेरी बहन है और दूसरे हमने जिनके साथ बहुत साल काम किया है, एक दूसरे के विरोध में भी किया है, एक दूसरे के साथ भी किया है, महा विकास आघाड़ी में भी किया है. वो बीच में बीजेपी के भी मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट थे. ऐसे सभी जगह उन्होंने काम किया. तो वो भी आवाज उनका ही है, उनका बोलने का टोन, उनका आवाज दोनों का वही है. अभी इसके बारे में इंक्वायरी हो जाएगी. इंक्वायरी होने के बाद पता चलेगा कौन है, क्या है, इसके पीछे सच राज क्या है वो पता चलेगा. मला तो रवींद्र चव्हाण पाटील जो नावाचा व्यक्ती आहे तोच तोतिया IPS आहे. आपल्या सगळ्या मीडियाला त्यांनी सांगितलं की मी IPS आहे, होतो, रिटायर झालो, पण तोच तोतिया IPS निघाला. भाजप आणि जो सुधांशु त्रिवेदी भाजपचा प्रवक्ता ज्यांनी ज्या पद्धतीने ते ऑडिओ ज्या पद्धतीने दाखवले गेले आहेत